What's up, YouTube? I have a top 4 regional deck profile for you, and this is one you're not going to want to miss. Asa got 4th place at the Geek Retreat Leeds Regional. He went 6-1 out of 94 players playing Tenyi, P.U.N.K, Swordsoul. This list is quite interesting. It's a deck that you probably are not familiar with yet. If you are, amazing. If not, this is the profile you want to watch. If you like this sort of content, feel free to let me know by clicking the subscribe button down below or commenting. Asa has his own YouTube channel called the Ashen Hunter. I'm going to put the link in the description below. So if you want to check out his channel, which I highly recommend, he's a new up and coming YouTuber. So check him out. He was going to be posting videos down the line as well. So make sure you subscribe to him as well. Asa, how did it feel?
Oh, it feels great. I actually didn't expect getting top 4 from this, because again, my plan was, because there's like this new game which came out, my plan was, oh, this regional clashes with my weekend plans, so I'm just gonna do this regional because I want to support my locals, and then if I scrub out, I could just go home and play this game. But then it kind of backfired in a way, because I lost the first round thinking, oh, it's going to be one of those days, and then I just proceed to win everything else.
Well, yeah, it definitely worked out. I mean, top 4 at a regional is not easy, especially with 94 people, so good job. So how many cards did you play?
I played 43 cards in the main deck.
Sweet. And is it, you're happy with that number? Is it, do you want to make it like less cards? Would you play more cards?
I tried to make it less cards, but the problem with this deck is it's so hard because you want to play like so many like engines and stuff. But then I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go with 43, because originally this was 45.
Yeah.
Then I cut it down a bit to 40. Then I thought, okay, then I want to try out the P.U.N.K stuff. So it's back at 43, and I didn't want to make any last minute changes which might screw me over. So I just thought, let's roll with it.
All right, okay. And as you said, let's roll with it. Let's see the list.
All right, so we're just gonna quickly go through the basic cards, which are 3 Ecclesia, which is standard, 2 Taie, 3 Moye, and 3 Longyun, which is your standard Swordsoul package. I see some people play 3 Taie, but I just think I don't want too many normal summons.
Yeah.
So I think this is the right number. Not much else to explain with this.
Okay.
Along with 3 Emergence, 1 Blackout, which are also pretty standard.
Yep.
Moving on. We have the Tenyi package with 3 Adhara, 3 Ashuna, and then the last 2 are a bit weird, 2 Vishuda and 2 Vessel. I know people run 3 Vishuda and 3 Vessel, or instead of a 3rd Vishuda, they play the Water Tenyi, Shatana, I think that's its name. My problem with Shatana is I understand the theory behind it, but I tried it in testing and I just thought it was really subpar. I'd rather just open one of these, even Vishuda. And then with Vessel, as weird as it sounds, like, it's insane going first, but then going second, I think the card's terrible.
Yeah.
Because, like, you do decide to keep it in going second, and then you open it, and then your opponent just pops off and you haven't got any responses. You're thinking, I wish this was any other card I can use to respond to my opponent. And I actually sided it out every game. Like, every time I knew I was going second, I sided it out.
Fair enough.
And then, but like I say, the Tenyis are really needed for, like, especially like how combos and whatnot.
Yeah, the package is solid. I mean, Tenyis are very strong.
Oh yeah. Then we played the Despot 01 for the Auroradon combo. Then the last few monsters we play before the Spice are 3 Ash Blossom and 2 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre's just insane right now.
Yep.
And I say that, though I'm only playing 2. The reason I'm playing 2 is because I don't want to be seeing too many hand traps going first, e.g. too many normal summons. So I think 2 Ogre's just right, especially because I play 3 E-Telly as well, which we'll get into in a bit. And then Ash Blossom is just really necessary to have.
Yeah, definitely this format for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a staple at this point. And then finally, for the monsters, I'm playing a very small P.U.N.K package. I'm playing 2 Zeman, if that's how you pronounce its name, and 1 Foxy Tune. I've seen so many people doubt this package, but honestly, this was probably one of like the most important things coming from this weekend, because it's so powerful. For those who don't know what this stuff does, you summon this and you use its effect to pay 600 and search any punk monster and add it to your hand. So you add this one, Foxy Tune, and if you don't know what Foxy Tune does, it's got a few effects, but its most important one is you can send or you send it from your hand and one of a card to the graveyard to summon a punk monster from deck. So you just summon another copy of these, and it's like a 1-card Hulk, especially with the triple E-Telly, as I mentioned earlier. So if you have like E-Telly, you can just summon this, pay 606 Foxy Tune. And also, if you open a Tenyi as well, you can spec. Well, if you have a Shuna or the Shooter, you can spec them, go E-Telly, summon this, search Foxy Tune, and then sync this off with the level 7 Tenyi into a Baron.
Nice.
So you've got a nib out within 5 summons. And also this outs token collector as well, because say you've got a level 4, say you normal summon Moye, reveal a Tenyi, and you summon a token, and then we go, okay, token collector, and it gets rid of a token. Then if you say you've got one of these in your hand, you can just spec out this or use Foxy Tune to summon one of these, and then you just sync it off into a Yazzie and pop the token collector, which actually came up once or twice.
Nice. Yeah, token collector is quite an issue right now, especially in your deck, because you are playing quite a big Swordsoul package. So a way to out token collector in the main deck is it's good.
So I've seen some people play Madam Spider and the Trap. I can't remember its name, but it's basically a weaker Imperm. I didn't play those because I just want to see like stuff which goes into the Hulk combo, and if I saw those going first, it'd just be kind of bricky.
Okay.
And then for the last 6 cards, we're just playing 3 droplets, 3 Imperm, because more negation is good, especially with stuff like but with the Scythe Lock running about, you need these. And then Imperm is just kind of standard, especially with decks like Invoke Dogmatica still running about. And then even against stuff like DDD, where you use it to negate Gilgamesh, which gets the scales. Like, I know DDD sounds like a weird example, but it got new support recently, which has made the deck a lot more popular.
Yep, yes it has.
And then that is my main deck. And like I say, that was 43 cards.
Looks solid. All right,
do you want me to do side or extra?
Extra first, please.
Alright, so going into the extra, we're playing the standard 2 Monk of a Tenyi because you need this for your combos. I've seen some people play 3, but I think 2 is completely fine. Then we're playing Halka Fibrax for said Auroradon combo. And then for our last link, we're playing Shaman of a Tenyi. You don't really need this, but then at the same time, it's really good for the grind game. But then you can replace it with any other synchro, like a second Baxia, Ruddy Rose. It's the only monster in my extra deck I didn't summon all tournament. But again, she's good for the grind game. Then going on to the most important part of the extra, we have Herald of the Arclight, which is incredibly necessary at the minute because Forbidden Droplet's really popular. And with the Auroradon combo, if you open a Shuna and use that to make Hulk, you can make this as part of a combo because you get to the line of play where you have Auroradon and the 3 tokens and Deskbot 01. And if you've got a Shuna in your graveyard, instead of making Yazzie, you use a token and Deskbot to make Herald. Then you banish the Ashuna to summon Adhara and then make the Yazzie with the other 2 tokens and the Adhara. And this is just insane as well because aside from being an Omni Negate, it banishes monsters which are sent from a hand to the graveyard and main deck. And like I say, it's really good for playing around droplets, so they have to use droplet really specifically, like to send spells and traps instead. And on another thing as well is, depending on said hands, it also makes your opponent waste their battle phase just to be over this, because I had a few opponents do that this weekend, and every game I summoned this, I won.
Right, nice.
Then we have Yazzie, because he's necessary removal, because aside from making him as a piece of the Auroradon combo, like, his non-targeting really helps to play around stuff like Imperm, and with Token Collector as well, as I mentioned earlier, with a Punk stuff. Say, like, you've got a level 4 Swordsoul monster, say Moye, for example, and you get Token Collected, you spec one of the Punk monsters out, or go with E-Telly, or use Foxy Tune to summon Zeman out, and then you turn them into a Yazzie, and then you just get rid of Token Collector and continue with your plays. Then we have Baxia. I was playing 2 originally, but I cut it down to 1 for another card, which I'll show you in a moment. Like, I didn't really miss the second Baxia. Like, it's really, really powerful removal, especially with Taie. But then, he only comes up like once during a game, and he's either that or a way to make Chow Fan.
Yeah.
Because you could just lock your opponent out of lights. There's also another really spicy play you can do to lock your opponent out of darks, but it requires a bit more cards. It didn't really come up, that play, but it is a really spicy play. Then we have the standard 2 Chi Chao, because like I say, it's a Sword Soul deck. Draco Berserker, because he's really powerful for OTKs and removal, especially like, say, against Invoke Dogmatica. Say you have this on board, and then your opponent tries to spec Fleur-de-Lis, you just chain this and you banish the Fleur-de-Lis from their hand. Then you have Chow Fan, because it's like you can still do the standard Tenyi combo and use Baxia to make Chow Fan.
Yep.
But then you have one of the new synchro, Quixin Lonyon, who's really good. If you don't know what he does, if he's on board while you synchro summon a worm monster, I believe it's a worm monster. Yep, if you synchro summon a worm monster, you can draw 1 card, and then if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can banish one of them and burn for 1200. And then if your opponent activates a spell or trap card or the effect of a spell and trap card, you can banish that spell or trap card and burn for 1200. So this is really powerful against the likes of Eldritch or any other back row deck. And it's another card where I summoned him. I never really used the effects because every game I summoned him, there's only like 2 or 3 games I summoned him, my opponent just scooped.
Yeah, it can be annoying, especially when your opponent's on low life. If you use Long Yang to make this, then they take 1200, and then this card can do additional 24 total if you resolve both effects, and then or your opponent doesn't play. So you usually are having that opportunity to actually burn them for 24 additional, the 12, which is 36. So if they're low on life, you can just win the game.
Oh yeah, it's really nutty. I see some people not playing this. I wasn't playing it originally, but I'm glad I decided to play it in the end, because again, it just steals games. Then you have standard Chenyin, because Chenyin's just like a big beefy boy who can't be destroyed by battle card effects, and he's a walking IDP as well.
Yep.
I only summoned him once, but like I say, he's needed in the deck. And finally, we have Baron de Fleur, she's an Omni Negate for Nibiru, and with a P.U.N.K stuff, it's another way to get to her, bar from Lonyon. So there are some hands you could do where you summon Baron, but you do Hout combo. Then if you get to Lonyon late and you're able to summon Lonyon and a token, you can get 2 level 10 synchros out.
Okay.
And that is the extra.
Nice.
Finally, going on to the side deck, we've got the standard board removal in the form of Red Reboot, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Triple Lightning Storm. I see some people play Cosmic Cyclone, but then I just thought, because Imperial Order's banned, you just want to go for like the absolute blowout stuff.
Okay.
And I think these performed really well, because there's one game where I was against Invoked Eldritch, round 6, and we go into game 3 and I side this in, and then he just ends on like 2 or 3 back row, Mechaba Pass, and I'm just like, okay, Lightning Storm, I just nuke his back row, and it's just playing through stuff is just so much easier. And then we have probably the best side deck card I played this weekend, Free Forbidden Chalice. This is really good because it's good going first or second, because you can side it in going first, so you're playing around Token Collector, since that's really popular right now.
Yep. And
it's another form of negation as well. Like, again, like this card performed really well for me, because I know like I'm playing Imperm and stuff, but then it's really good. Like you can say like, you'd rather see this than Imperm in some games, because you can activate it while you've got stuff on board, while with Imperm you have to set it and wait. And then finally, going on to the monsters, we have Triple Nibiru. I know it's a weird one with the Brave Adventurer engine, whatever you call it. But I think this card's insane, especially against the Mirror and other decks like DDD, for example, because with DDD, sometimes they don't have the Nibiru out on the end board, so you just go, okay, end of main phase Nibiru, and you just eat them from there.
Yep.
Then we have the Triple Artifact Lancier. This is really powerful right now. Like, it slows down P.U.N.K, slows down Dragon Link, slows down this deck to some capacity with the Tenyis. I've actually seen some people main it right now. I nearly decided to main it. But then at the same time, with this, you are receiving more extenders than like random hand traps.
Yep.
In game 1. But again, I think like this card's really necessary right now. And for my last side deck card, I couldn't think of a last card, so I just threw in a third Ghost Ogre.
All right. Anything with the deck you change? Side deck, extra deck, main deck? Or were you happy with overall?
I'm pretty happy with the main, actually. I know being happy with 43 cards is a bit weird, but then I just thought like the deck like performed a lot better with a P.U.N.K engine, because originally when I was testing it without the P.U.N.K engine, I just kept bricking constantly. But then with a P.U.N.K stuff, it's like, okay, you've got another way to get to Hulk.
Yeah.
And also, it means with E-Tel, you don't have to waste it on a Ghost Ogre, so you can keep the Ghost Ogre in hand, or like in your deck for like the grind game.
Yeah.
And then other hand trap choices I was thinking about, I've seen some of my mates going about drawing a Lockbird.
Yeah.
But it's a weird one. Like, it's good against decks like Dragon Link, which, funnily enough, ended up winning the regional.
Yeah.
And Invoked. But then I think with the adventurous stuff, it can kind of play through it in some way. Because like, since that deck is full of extenders, and then Ghost Spell is another one I've seen, but I think that's all right, because to be fair, I didn't realize it the other day until a mate mentioned it to me, where you can actually Ghost Spell Water Enchantress.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Since she adds from grave as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's so underlooked. So it's another way to additionally stop Enchantress, which is important.
And it's also good for Invoke Dogmatica, though, funnily enough. I thought there'd be a lot of Invoke Dogmatica at this regional, but there wasn't. But there was a lot of Eldritch, however, and Bell could be good against that because of Scarlet Sanguine.
Yeah.
Or if they played the other one, I think it's White Awakening, the name is.
Yeah, it's the, I think it's the Black Awakening one?
No, Black Awakening summons from deck.
Okay,
yeah. Oh no, it might summon from grave as well.
I think it's the Black Awakening that summons from the grave and hand. It might be that one, the quick play spell. It's one or the other, but yeah, it can stop the one that's being played in the deck.
Yeah.
Great list. Congrats again on 4th place. As you mentioned, Dragon Link won the event. I have got that deck profile as well, so that will be on my YouTube channel. Before we end the deck profile, do you have any shout outs at all?
Oh yeah, I have several shout outs. Shout outs to the guys at Geek Retreat Leeds for all the support. Shout out to Connor for like theorizing the deck with me and giving me like moral support. Shout outs to some of the guys I had to play against some of my lot doing some rounds. So shout out to Kieran, who is my Despia opponent round 4. Like, that game was really intense. And then shout outs to Parky in the last round, because tragically we both had to play each other last round and he was on DDD and I just opened the nuts both games. Shout outs to the judges who ran the regional, like Connor, Napa, doing a swell job. And shout out to the rest of the Geek Leads guys for all the support.
Great. Glad to hear it. Again, good job on top 4. And I'm sure it's really nice to like take it in your local store. So good job for that. Thanks to deck profile. I'm sure we'll see you again sometime soon. All the best.
Thank you.